Okay, welcome back to our Practical SEO course, and we are talking about making your site visible without having to have extensive technical knowledge. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about what we call off-page optimization. Now, you probably are already familiar, obviously, with SEO, or this term search engine optimization. We're going to be talking about the things that you're going to be doing that are not going to be directly tied to the website that you're using. So in other words, we're talking about things that are off of your website and on other sites. Basically, off-page optimization is about authority and credibility. Google gives I would say credence, or it gives leverage to sites that demonstrate that they have authority and credibility in their market or their niche. And so what that means is that those sites that have authority and credibility will rank higher over time. And it doesn't mean that it happens right away. And it doesn't mean that, well, of course, you won't be developing authority and credibility right away in a niche that might be new to you. But if you come into a niche and you develop authority and credibility with the existing players that are there, with the people that are reading websites, that are visiting those websites and blogs and looking for information, when you begin to develop authority and credibility, there are signals that you will be giving off from your site, but then also some of these signals will come from others within the industry and how they relate to your particular site. Now, it's typically been the case that popularity was not so much of an issue. So in other words, just because you had lots of visitors didn't necessarily mean that you were an authority in the site. And while that for the most part is still true with respect to authority, there are some caveats, and you'll find most of those caveats in the form of social media triggers now. And those social media signals typically indicate that when a site is popular and people are sharing that information, then those sites tend to be throwing off signals that say that that site is authoritative or that site has credibility. So while popularity is not directly a direct contributor to website rankings, it can have an effect indirectly through social media signals and other factors. Now, the old way of generating off-page optimization is no longer effective, and that used to be by create lots of links from other sites and link them back to your site. So you would either pay someone or you would do it yourself to go to lots of other different kinds of sites to create lots of different kind of links in order to mirror what were called backlinks, so that you would appear to be authoritative in the eyes of the search engine engineers. Well, as you have probably heard at the beginning of this course, and you might have heard in passing, those methods are no longer effective in terms of generating website rankings. And while it doesn't necessarily mean that 100% of those techniques no longer work, they are working less and less effectively as each day goes by. As a matter of fact, Google has a team that's working on this that they call its web spam team. And the web spam team, for the most part, all they do is try to figure out how to program the search engine so that it will automatically weed out those sites that have self-generated authority. Now, there are many who within the SEO community who will argue that the search engines cannot possibly weed out all self-generated authority, so that this means that it is a good practice to keep using some of those old methods. Now, that is probably not advisable in the long run, because if you depend on those methods, you may end up like many webmasters who relied on those methods but who found themselves not ranking or no longer ranking once the web spam team figured out how to program the Google search engine so that a lot of that self-generated authority would no longer exist. So you want to make sure that you are building your website on solid principles, solid SEO principles, and not the old methods. So if what you want to do is to go and create lots of backlinks to your site in an effort to gain website rankings, just understand that those methods are working less and less effectively today. Now, one of the people that you'll want to listen to or you'll want to keep track of are the comments from a gentleman named Matt Cutts. Matt Cutts is the head of Google's web spam team. And you should go to both YouTube.com as well as Google.com, and for the most part search for Matt Cutts' name. And where you see videos where Matt Cutts is explaining the things that Google is looking for, you should watch those videos so that you'll have an understanding of what they are actually looking for. You'll also be able to find his comments not just in videos but also in articles that people read, that people write when they attend conferences where Matt Cutts is speaking. So this is a very important aspect of your off-page optimization. So all we're doing is introducing the concept to you now. We're going to get into social media signals as well as backlinking extensively in the next two videos. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in video 9.